House prices are unsustainable. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee and let's have a look at this article discussing house prices and how, well, they're unsustainable or home values. So this is from news.com.au and from CoreLogic's comments or their thinking. Home values are probably unsustainable, according to CoreLogic. And, well, we're all well aware that housing has just gone up a little tiny bit, just between friends, a little bit extra here and there. I think the technical economic term is batshit crazy, but, that's just how it is. How else do you get to be featured in a Sunday magazine where they, proudly proclaim that you paid twice or 200,000 above reserve? I mean, come on, guys, you'll go down in history. CoreLogic Research Director Tim Lawless offered some insight into Australia's home values following its rapid decline and surprising upswing. Australian home values seemed to have bounced back in recent months, following the fastest decline in housing values on record as a result of a significant imbalance between supply and demand, according to Mr. Lawless. Now, here's the question. Is this imbalance going to be addressed anytime soon? Will there be a flood of new properties, increased supply, and will demand stay steady? Or will demand crash and the supply that we have now, will there be less competition for it? Or will demand go up and supply stay flat or go down? Which scenario do you think will play out, everyone? So, the CoreLogic Home Value Index recorded an increase of 0.5% in April, preceded by a 0.6% in March, after falling 9.1% between May 2022 and February 23. Okay, that's a fall. I mean, here's the thing, guys, with property. We're obsessed about it here in Australia. I've been discussing it for a couple of years on the channel. You'd have people that have been predicting massive corrections in the property market. Not 9%, not 10%, not 20%, but 40 or 50%, to the point where property would be affordable for the average Joe. But that's not going to happen in Australia, guys. Even if we get a correction here, there'll be people clamoring to get in the market. We saw what happened during the lockdowns when there was a slight fall. What happened? Went to the moon, didn't it? And so we're coming off that top. Mr. Lawless stated it was becoming increasingly clear that the housing market has moved through an inflection point, with a number of indicators confirming this positive shift. Furthermore, a mid-month update based on CoreLogic's daily HVI indicated that this upswing in values is gaining further momentum. I mean, daily price movements on housing. This isn't stock. This isn't crypto. Getting out of a house is a mission. There's costs associated with it. Why do they do it daily? Can someone explain that to me? Honestly, other than for attention. What value would that be? So, this upswing in values is gaining further momentum. Cities such as Brisbane revealed an increase in the index of 1% over the past 4 weeks, while Sydney still leads the way in increasing values. However, Mr. Lawless stated that considering housing affordability measures remain stretched, this strong rate of growth is surprising and probably unsustainable. But here's the question. Is housing affordability, is it even important with regards to house prices? I'm being serious here. Does it even matter anymore? How long has it been since housing has been affordable? How many sacrifices are people doing to get into their houses? How much government intervention have we seen using the housing market to stimulate the economy? Does it even matter? Is housing even for the average person anymore in Australia? That's the real question here. The real issue. is housing for the average person. Is Australia changing as a nation where you could easily, well, it already has, isn't it? It's hard for people to get a house. You've got to borrow so much money. The lifestyle that previous generations had, it's not the same anymore. Maybe that's just Australia growing up, sadly. A similar sentiment was shared by Westpac senior economist Matthew Hassan, who described the recent market resurgence at the beginning of 23 as unusual and unexpected, and stated there were several reasons to be wary about the sustainability of this upturn. Okay, but here's the thing. I mean, you're not buying houses like you do shares. You don't flip them. You don't have all the same financial products to can you buy options on how? You probably could, but not as easily as you could on the share market. The reason everyone is obsessed with housing, it's because it's a really easy way for an average punter to leverage a huge amount of money and get capital growth on that. That's why we're so obsessed about it. So, I mean, if you've bought a property as an investment, I mean, are you going to give a crap about the movements for the next 5 years? Or are you in it for the long term as a rental or income stream? And you're expecting, okay, 10 years, 15 years, capital growth. She'll be right, mate. It's Australia. I mean, government's got my back. It's Aussie gold. One of the reasons he offered was there's still a potential risk of interest rates moving higher as inflation outlooks remain uncertain, which could result in the RBA hiking again later this year while putting further constraints on easing rates in 2024. I mean, yeah, you're always going to have these elements of uncertainty. In some regards, the economic forecasts and predictions, it's just, the bloke's version of tarot cards and horoscopes, isn't it? So challenges uncertainty. I'm sure trading analysis TA is. Mr. Lawless further stated that one of the biggest hurdles for prospective home buyers would be the ability to service a loan as we move forward into the year. We can't ignore low consumer sentiment, which will also be having some dampening effect on the market's current exuberance, and we shouldn't expect to see a material lift in property activity until there's an improvement in consumer confidence more broadly, he added. In addition, as economists are split on forecasts in regard to whether the RBA will further hike interest rates or not, this is likely adding to uncertainty and low consumer confidence, according to Mr. Lawless. Let's have a look here at the ASX rate predictor, the rate tracker. We'll bring that up. So we can see here, well, on the 26th of May, the no change to the cash rate was at 100%, the prediction, and increasing to 4.1% was at 0% prediction. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see how it goes, guys, won't we? So if the RBA were to cut interest rates, there is a good chance we would see a lift in consumer spirits, accompanied by a substantial pickup in both buyer and selling activity, Mr. Lawless said. Logically, lower interest rates would be the catalyst for a further uptick in housing values. Of course, we're not expecting a rate cut anytime soon, and there's speculation that rates may even rise a little bit further this year. So let's have a look at some, at least asking prices for the three big cities. And this is SQM data, it's not CoreLogic, but let's just, get familiar with it. We're reloading this page. This is the weekly property prices here in Sydney. I mean, even if, okay, what are we sitting at here? Hang on. Let me go full screen. I've got to look over here. Even if we're going up at 3 bedrooms at 1.5 million, if you're dropping 10%, what are you at, 101.35? How far back in time are you going? Whoop-de-doo. 2021. Remember when housing was affordable in 2021? What people want, they expect property. Hang on. They expect property, the property super bears, to go back to 2010 prices. That's what people are expecting. Or some are. They're hoping. They're waiting. Now, how long are you going to have to wait for that correction? And what's the opportunity costs of waiting? That's just something you need to consider. Because they're not going to make it any easier to build, guys. They're not going to make it any easier to build. If anything, it's going to get harder and it's going to get more expensive. I had one viewer in the comments who's talking about the tiny homes, how they're the future. And I'm going, it's not the future. They're a glorified caravan. You're pissing money away on something that isn't going to go up in value. It's going to go down in value. You don't have any land. You need land. That's the real question we need to ask is, do we want a nation of homeowners or do we want a nation of people who are renters? Do you want people to plant their roots in soil that they own, where they can establish themselves, where they can have a home and a family? I think from a nation, a civilization perspective, that is what's important. Let's have a look at Melbourne, guys. And there we go. I mean, what are we at now? 3-bedroom houses, $1 million. So if we go down to 900, how far back are we? Oh, we're a few years back. If we go 10%, we're at, hang on, there you go, 2019, a few years back. How long to get to $500,000? Is it even on the chart? There you go, 2010. So, and then my city, good old Brisbane, which frankly is the most stupid of all of them without price increases. I mean, look at this. Look at this, 3-bedders, okay? 800,000 grand, guys, across the whole city. And we're going, look at that jump. It's just gone stupid. From $500,000, 600 grand. 600 grand, you could get a decent house. You get one for even under 400 back in the day. Not that far. I'm not that old. There you go. So guys, there we have it. There we have it. Property prices continue to, well, they may not be sustainable at these levels. But even if it falls, it's not going to be a solution to the majority of people who are struggling with housing affordability in Australia. I guess I'm just becoming more cynical with the solution. I'm just becoming more cynical now. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one. Thanks for watching. I've only got time for one video today. I'm flat out at the moment. I've got a deadline on Tuesday. I'm teaching myself a new tool for visualizations and rendering, so I'm working on that at the moment. Hey, at least it beats doing concrete. We're going pretty well at the house too. As always, check out HeiseBim and HeiseSays if you want to see some of the other content I create. And if you're a fan of the channel and want to support us a little bit extra, you can via YouTube or Patreon, using our referral links, buying our pocket squares, or calling us if you need an architect. Take care. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next episode of HeiseSays. Bye for now.